Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. Call me crazy, but I swear, the deeper we dig into Blind Frog Ranch, the closer we get to something that's been hiding for centuries. Something heavy, something golden. It started like a hunch, a whisper in the dirt. There's a pulse under this land, an ancient one, and it's growing louder. Duane Olinder knew something was down there when he bought this chunk of Utah wilderness. Not just oil, not just minerals, but a secret. You could feel it in the way the tools jammed, the way the ground pushed back. Like the land itself was trying to keep something buried. And now, after years of strange readings, broken equipment, and dead-end tunnels, we might be sitting right on top of the legendary treasure of Montezuma himself. Yes, that Montezuma. The Aztec emperor whose empire glittered with riches before it was crushed by Spanish conquistadors. History says the gold vanished. Some say it was taken north by fleeing warriors, buried somewhere beyond the deserts, past the mountains. Hidden in places maps forgot. Somewhere like Blind Frog Ranch. The signs have been there all along. Geological anomalies. Caverns that don't match local topography. Artifacts in places no one can explain. And the strange way compasses spin out of control near the cave entrances, like that Earth's own magnetic field doesn't trust what's underneath. The cave system beneath the ranch is unnatural. It winds like it was dug, not eroded. Sharp angles, smooth surfaces, places where the rock looks burnt or fused, like it was exposed to something intensely hot centuries ago. Something man-made. Or worse, something no man should have been able to make back then. Duane's team hit a chamber last fall. One nobody expected. The LiDAR scans didn't even show it, like the rock refused to give up its secret. But the air that came rushing out was dry and still, like it hadn't moved in hundreds of years. The walls inside were lined with carvings. Not Navajo, not Ute. These symbols were older, sharper, Aztec, maybe. One wall bore a clear mark, a jaguar's face, fangs bared in a snarl. The same symbol that appeared on an obsidian blade found weeks before in a collapsed tunnel, one with no known entry. Then there were the gold flakes in the water sample, taken from just outside the chamber. Natural gold, yes, but unusually pure. Not the kind typically found in Utah. Metallurgists who tested it said it matched samples pulled from ancient Aztec caches in central Mexico. So here's the theory. When the Spanish invaded the Aztec Empire in the early 1500s, Montezuma's followers took a portion of the empire's treasure and fled north. Some legends say the treasure was transported along a secret network of tunnels, sacred paths guided by celestial alignments. Others claim the fleeing priests had help from tribes sympathetic to the Aztecs, or even from something older than the Aztecs themselves. Some believe those fleeing priests made it all the way to what is now Utah, to a hidden valley full of caves and strange magnetic fields, a place where gold could vanish from history, a place like Blind Frog Ranch. Sound far-fetched, maybe. But history has gaps, and the desert doesn't give up secrets easily, especially when they're buried in rock. What's truly bizarre is what's happened to those who've gotten close. Take Eric, our lead geologist. Tough guy. Ex-military. No nonsense. He went into the new chamber with a seismic reader and came back, changed. Said he felt vibrations in the walls, but they didn't register on his instruments. Said the symbols on the walls moved when he wasn't looking directly at them. Like they shifted, telling a story in motion, only seen out of the corner of your eye. Another team member saw a shadow move against the far wall, then disappear behind a solid slab of stone. Some say it's psychological, stress, claustrophobia, but others aren't so sure. Locals whisper about ancient guardians, spirits of the land, protecting whatever lies beneath. Even the Ute tribal elders warned Duane before he began the excavation. They said the land doesn't want to be disturbed. Then there's the incident with the drone. We flew it into a tight shaft, looking for a way past a collapsed tunnel. The signal cut out for 6 full minutes. When it returned, the footage showed a passage we didn't recognize, one that twisted unnaturally. At the end of the video, just before the battery died, the camera caught a glint in the dark, something metallic, covered in dust. Angular, engraved. We haven't found that passage since. The mystery deepens with the discovery of the map, if you could even call it a map. It was carved into a flat stone, buried 20 feet below the surface near the northern ravine, marked by a pile of rocks that didn't belong there. The symbols were partially eroded, but there was no mistaking the concentric rings and directional arrows. One symbol, 3 pyramids in a triangle, matched glyphs codices describing sacred hiding places, a geoglyph, a code. Duane brought in a cryptologist, retired CIA. The man didn't say much, but after 3 days of study, he left without a word, leaving only a note: "You're sitting on something big. But it doesn't want to be found." Why all the secrecy? Why so many dead ends? Some say it's a cover-up, that government satellites have picked up anomalies under the ranch and classified them. That there's been quiet interference, phone taps, power outages, even surveillance drones near the dig site that don't belong to anyone we know. Others believe it's spiritual, that the land is cursed, that those who get too close will be led astray, or worse, silenced by forces beyond reason. But Duane won't stop. None of us will, because something's down there. We can feel it. The tremors are getting stronger. The readings are getting stranger. And the deeper we go, the more it all points to one thing: gold. Not just coins or trinkets. We're talking chests, statues, sacred idols. Gold that was never meant to be found. Gold that could rewrite the story of the Americas. Gold touched by a dying empire and hidden beneath sacred ground. Montezuma's gold. The latest scan shows a void. Massive, roughly 80 feet beneath the old river. It's shaped like a dome. And something inside reflects more than just rock. We're preparing the shaft now, reinforcing the walls. Air purifying systems, lights, ground anchors. No mistakes this time. If the dome is real, if we get in, we could be the first humans in over 500 years to lay eyes on what lies inside. If we're wrong, we risk collapse. Worse, facing whatever has kept this secret hidden for so long. Because no one just stumbles onto Montezuma's treasure. Not without cost. There are places in this world that don't behave the way they should. Places where time slows down, compasses spin wildly, and machines stop working without reason. Blind Frog Ranch is one of those places. Tucked into the high desert of eastern Utah, surrounded by red cliffs and weather-worn buttes, it sits quietly, unassuming at first glance. But there's something restless beneath the surface. Something buried. Something heavy. From the moment the land was purchased, it defied explanation. Survey equipment malfunctioned. Drill heads shattered against stone that shouldn't have been there. Underground water systems flowed where no geologist could predict. Yet every problem only deepened the suspicion that something long hidden was resisting discovery. Every obstacle became a clue. The locals have their theories. They speak in cautious tones of ancient curses and restless spirits. Some say the land is protected by guardians that don't take kindly to intrusions. Others believe it was used by those who came before the Spanish, before the tribes who still live nearby, people whose stories were erased by time. But a different theory has taken hold among those who've walked the ground, dug through its layers, and stared into its forbidden chambers. They say Montezuma's gold may be buried here. It's not an entirely new legend. For centuries, rumors have circulated that after Hernan Cortes and his conquistadors decimated the Aztec Empire, priests and warriors fled north with part of the empire's treasure. Some stories claim the gold was spirited away to sacred hiding places far beyond the borders of modern Mexico, into the barren, remote lands where few dared to travel, into places like the Uinta Basin. Skeptics laugh. But then again, skeptics don't work at Blind Frog Ranch. The landscape offers strange gifts to those who look carefully. Sealed caverns reveal carved symbols that don't match the local petroglyphs. Copper tools are found far below the water table, untouched by corrosion. In one instance, a fragment of worked obsidian turned up in a pocket of soil more than 20 feet down, cut with a precision blade, as if left behind by a civilization far more advanced than expected. Yet the strongest evidence isn't just the artifacts. It's the ground itself. The ranch sits atop an unusual concentration of magnetic anomalies. Satellite imaging reveals voids beneath the surface that defy natural formation. LiDAR scans have outlined dome-shaped structures, as if massive man-made chambers had been carved into the rock below. One such chamber lies just beneath a collapsed tunnel. Getting there has been its own battle. Every time excavation begins, something goes wrong. Equipment fails. The soil shifts unexpectedly. Support beams snap. Once, the entire crew evacuated after the air inside the shaft turned toxic without warning, despite a lack of known gas pockets or contamination. It was as if the earth was defending itself.